Hello students, let's begin with the class 8 political science revision session today. We are going to begin the revision of chapter number 2, that is understanding secularism. Let's go through the content that is there in the chapter. What is secularism? Why is it important to separate religion from the state? Then what is Indian secularism? And in what way is Indian secularism different from that of other democratic countries? In today's revision session, we are going to complete the two topics, that is what is secularism and why is it important to separate religion from the state. Now, children, before starting here, let's understand what is secularism. See, imagine yourself as a Hindu or Muslim living in a part of the United States of America where Christian fundamentalism is very powerful. I hope you remember the meaning of fundamentalism, but then let me repeat for you again. It means like to believe in the original form of a religion. Okay, then suppose that despite being a US citizen, no one is willing to rent their house to you. That what will be your reaction? How would this make you feel? Being the US citizen, then to you when no one is ready to rent you the house, then what will be your feelings there, right? Would it not make you feel resentful? Yeah, definitely. Then what are the options that you have with you? See, it can take in two forms. Either your anger could take two forms. First, you might react by saying that Christians should get the same treatment in places where Hindus and Muslims are in majority, right? That thing will come to your mind. This is a form of retaliation. Or you might take the view that there should be justice for all. You may fight stating that no one should be discriminated against on grounds of their religions, correct? Practices and beliefs. But this statement rests on the assumption that all forms of domination related to religion should end, correct? This is only the essence of secularism, that any domination based on religion should come to an end. That is the essence of secularism. Now here the history provides us with many examples of discrimination. If we'll see the examples based on discrimination, exclusion and persecution, that is on the basis of religion. Now let's go through one of the example here given in your textbook also. It is like Jews were persecuted in Hitler's Germany and several million people, mostly they were Jews only, they were killed. And one more example here, the Jewish state of Israel treats its own Hindus and Muslims, treats its own Muslims and Christians minority quite badly. This is what is happening in Jews. And even the second example is given here in Saudi Arabia. Non-Muslims are not allowed to build a temple, church, etc. Nor can they gather in the public places for the prayers. So in these above examples, what we can understand, the members of one religious community either persecute or discriminate, right, against members of other communities, religious communities. These acts of discrimination takes place more easily when it is happening. Now try to understand when these acts of discrimination takes place. It is more easily happening when one religion is given official recognition by the state at the expense of other religions. Let me repeat this. These are the important words you have to understand. These acts of discrimination takes place when one religion is given official recognition by the state at the expense of other religions. So what is to be done in this? Now clearly no one would wish to be discriminated against because of their religion, not dominated by another religion, right? So in India, can the state discriminate a citizen on the grounds of their religion? Let's see now here. See, if you know about the Indian Constitution contains the fundamental rights that protect us against state power as well as against the tyranny of the majority. The Indian Constitution allows individuals the freedom to live by their religious beliefs and practices as they interpret these. So in keeping these ideas of religious freedom for all, India also adopted a strategy of separating the power of religion and the power of the state. That is only the secularism. So, secularism refers to the separation of religion from the state. Now, why is it important to separate religion from the state? The most important aspect of secularism is its separation of religion from the state power, right? This is important for a country. Whichever country is following secularism, it is important for them, for a country to function democratically. I hope you all know the meaning of democracy very well. Now, here, almost all countries of the world will have more than one religious group living in them, right? Do you all agree with me? Yes, definitely. Within these religious groups, their majority religious group has, I'm talking about the majority. See, minority and majority, two groups are there, right? The majority religious groups have access to state power. Then it could quite easily use this power and financial resources to discriminate against and persecute persons of other religions. So, this tyranny of the majority could result in the discrimination, coercion, and at times even the killing of religious minorities. Now, children, in your textbook, glossary is given at the end of the textbook. The meaning of coercion is given there, to force someone to do something. But in the context of this chapter, it refers to the force used by the legal authority like the state. Now, another reason, the majority could quite easily prevent minorities from practicing their religion, right? They can easily do it. Then any form of domination based on religion is in violation of the rights that are democratic that a democratic society guarantees to each and every citizen. Democracy is based on that principle only, that right to each and every citizen, equal rights to each and every citizen, right? Therefore, the tyranny of the majority and the violation of fundamental rights that can result is one of the reason why it is important to separate the religion state and the religion in democratic society. Now let's understand the another reason that will be required. Another reason that is important to separate religion from the state is that we need to protect the individual, the freedom of individuals, because we need to protect their environment, because they should not be able to exit from religion. They can embrace another religion or have the freedom to interpret religious teachings differently. Now let's understand the meaning of the term freedom to interpret. The independence that all persons shall have to understand things in their own way. Like, let me repeat the words again. Freedom to interpret means what? The independence that all persons shall have to understand things in their own way. But in the context of our chapter, it refers to the person's liberty to develop their own understanding and meaning of the religion that they practice. So here I can give you the example. The image shows you about the untouchability. To understand this point, that freedom to interpret, the practice of untouchability, you might feel that you dislike this practice within Hinduism and therefore you want to try and reform it. But however, if we'll talk about this, if state power were in the hands of those Hindus who support untouchability, then do you think that you would have an easy task to try and change this? No. Even if you were a part of the dominant religious group, you might face a lot of resistance from fellow members of your community. So these members who have control of the state power might say that there is only one interpretation of Hinduism and that you do not have the freedom to interpret this differently. So here children, today we have completed the two topics in the first part of our revision, that is what is secularism and why is it important to separate religion from the state. So the remaining two topics that we are going to learn in the second part of revision. Till that, go through the slides that has been given in this, even the main videos, main PPTs that have been uploaded at the time of teaching you the chapter. Now children, here the next now we are going to see about the social science project. I hope, let's talk about that social science project that was given to you in the month of May. During your May vacation you got that project. The topic for that project was a debate, right? It was comparison of governments in India, United Kingdom and Russia, right? You were supposed to collect and write information about the forms of government that were existing in these countries. In these countries means the countries that were given in the previous slide: India, United Kingdom and Russia, right? Then you were supposed to write the advantages of the government you are in favor of, and then the disadvantages of other forms of government, correct? You were supposed to write all the information in the related to the project in the paper, correct? Now the thing come here, if you have not completed that project, complete it. Hope many of you would have done, but those who have not completed, prepare your project by 18th of August. If you want the details of this project again, then you can go through that. If you want the details of your project, then go through the presentation, that PPT, which was uploaded on 15th of May 2020, right? So you can have the detailed information of that and prepare your project by 18th of August. And the date when to submit will be informed to you soon. Okay, the submission date will be given to you soon. Your handwritten project is to be converted into PDF and email ID will be provided to you shortly. So be prepared with your projects by 18th of August. Okay, so remember children, while converting this into PDF, your pages should be in proper order. Okay, when you will be converting it into PDF, remember to put it in the serial order. Okay, so again a gentle reminder to you, prepare your projects earliest by 18th of August and the date of submission will be informed to you soon, and even the email ID on which you have to submit your projects will be provided to you shortly. Okay, so see you in the next session of political science with the revision of chapter number 2. The remaining 2 topics will be discussing at that time. Till then, take care.